Hi, I'm Peter St. Ange. Days from now, America will decide its future. Hundreds of millions of people will cast their vote in what the New York Times calls the most important election since 1860. With November 5th barreling down upon us, America is at a boiling point. Everywhere you turn, everyone you speak to, one question infects their mind. Who will win? What does it mean for me, my way of life, and the future of our country? To find the answer, I've traveled to a secluded stretch of farmland 53 miles from the swamp from Washington, D.C., because it's here on this 320-year-old farm that one man says he knows what's coming next. One of the world's most influential economists, his followers include famous politicians, billionaires, venture capitalists, and bankers. Barron's called him, quote, prescient. Others have even called him a prophet. Of course, there are those, typically the more mainstream thinkers, who vehemently disagree with new ideas and who think he's just made a few lucky calls. Either way, I'll let you decide. All I know is that over the past 25 years, he and his team have predicted major economic and financial moves in both directions long before the mainstream media even understood what was happening. So now, on the eve of the most important political event of our lifetime, he has an urgent new warning for all Americans. He says everything you've heard about this election is missing the point. Who you vote for, who wins the White House, the policies they put in place, all of the divisive political rhetoric of the past year, it is all smoke and mirrors. A way to distract you from the only issue that actually matters, the only issue that neither party will even talk about solving.
My warning to you today is not about politics. I am not a Democrat or a Republican. In my position, I can't allow my analysis to be clouded by tribal political thinking, because a lot of investors with billions at stake rely on me to be impartial, objective, and thorough. So let me be clear about this. I don't care who you vote for at all. I don't care what you believe about politics. Believe whatever you like. Today, everyone in America is so obsessed by politics that they are completely ignoring a crisis that's already destroyed about half of Americans and is going to destroy the rest of our country in the next 18 or 36 months. It's like, to use a metaphor, it's like all of America is in a giant football stadium rooting for their particular team, right? You've got the people who say the blue team is going to win, you got people saying the red team is going to win, and you got all the media commentating about, who's a point up and who's a point behind. And everyone's focused on that. While meanwhile, right outside in the parking lot, Godzilla is smashing cars and is about to breathe fire into the folks sitting in the stadium, and no one's paying any attention.
All right, so I love the Godzilla reference, but hold on, right? That is quite the claim. Nobody's going to believe that. People are obsessed right now with the election.
I'll go even further than that, Peter. In one way, your vote doesn't even count. Of course, your vote matters in terms of the social and cultural issues that seem to dominate our politics these days. You want to vote with your tribe, not with the other tribe. I get it. But all this stuff that you think you're voting for is all just noise that's meant to distract you. Because whoever wins, whether it's Kamala or Trump, there is something far bigger at play in our country right now.
Now, we've spoken privately about some of this, Porter. I know you believe these forces are behind a lot of the economic and social malaise that is plaguing America. Now, whether it's sky-high inflation, the vanishing middle class, businesses going bankrupt, savings evaporating, debt, of course, soaring, repossessions even soaring.
It goes deeper than just these basic economic problems. These are the symptoms that you're seeing. And by the way, the symptoms are also what's driving the social erosion that we see all around us. Sociologists call this phenomenon anomie, and it's the dislocation of society's norms and ethical standards. But what's really causing all of this? It relates directly to our money, back to the dollar. When money is sound and stable in a free market, then cooperation is easy. You can easily make a contract with goods or services over many years, knowing that the underlying values in our society are stable. When the money is stable, the society is stable. But that's not true anymore at all. Since 2010, when all this got started, these economic forces are destroying America, and not just our purchasing power or our wages or an entire class of people, the middle class. It's destroying our nation. And that's why we've seen things in the last few years that no other American in history, maybe outside of the period of the Civil War, could have imagined would ever be tolerated in our society. Whether that's that senator who's been wearing a hoodie to the Senate floor, or expecting the government to pay for your personal college debts, or Kamala's recent madness offering $25,000 of taxpayer money to pay for immigrants' personal houses. I mean, if you told this to people back in the 1970s, 1980s, even the 1990s, no one would believe that this could happen in America. And every day, it's one more gross, ridiculous perversion of what it means to be an American. It's no longer the Americans against the world. What is it they call it? A city on the hill, a beacon of light and hope for the world. That's all gone. Right now in our country, it is very much an ongoing war of different interest groups. And as these economic, political, and social conflicts come together, we are going to see everything I'm talking about get dramatically worse.
So now you believe the election is going to be some sort of a trigger, like a tipping point for some of these forces?
Yeah, I do. Because whether or not it's Trump or Harris, and whatever their public policies are, and whoever they appoint as the new chairman of the Fed, and no matter what promises they make to the American people in public, the reality is they know the government is totally powerless to stop these problems. And these problems are going to continue to destroy our country. What will be interesting is the way that they go about allowing the elites to win. And following those decisions will be absolutely critical.
Click here to watch the next video and check out the link in the bio for exclusive uncensored content.